Vanaand het ons 'n fantastiese gas in die ateljee ook. Our guest tonight is Enid Fox. As mentioned earlier on, she's a BodyTalk and Reiki practitioner. If you are facing any challenges in life at this point in time, she'll be able to try and help you out and provide some advice on how to move forward. If you're feeling a bit stuck perhaps, things aren't going too well, send through your questions and we'll do our best to get Enid to help out and provide some advice on the challenges that you might be facing and how you can certainly go about helping yourself. She says through BodyTalk, which she practices in MindScape, it will empower you to take responsibility for your own healing on all levels, and that's in relationships as well as being affected by different things and challenges through in your environment. So we're going to be chatting to her in a little bit. If you have questions, you can send them through via the SMS line to 35904. You can call in on 08614 904. You can definitely come chat via the app, and you can tweet at Smile904FM or come to the Love Lounge on the Smile904FM Facebook page, and you can leave your questions for Enid there as well, and we'll do our level best to get through as many as possible. But looking forward to a great conversation. We're also going to be joined on air through the interview and discussion by two of the people that Enid has been consulting with and who have been helped by Enid with challenges that they've faced. So we'll hear firsthand from them how these modalities have helped them move forward positively on their life's journey. So looking forward to a great conversation, and as always we have our guests come through to help you move forward positively and to address the challenges that you're facing in life, in whichever aspect of life it is. Let's see if we can help you out tonight. Ons het fantastiese liedjies om na te luister ook. Ons gaan voort met die Kaapse beste uit die 80s 90s en nou te Smal 90.4 FM. Wonderlik. And interspersed with the Power Hour, we have a wonderful conversation with a beautiful guest who is certainly here to help you and provide you with solutions to the challenges that you potentially face in your life. And we welcome back to Smile 90.4 FM. We often have guests who return and take things a little bit further as far as the discussion is concerned. And Enid Fox, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you very much, Mibu, and thank you for having me back.
No, it's a pleasure. It was a wonderful conversation when we started out the last time. And we're going to delve a little bit deeper and speak a little bit more about the modalities that you're involved in. And very excited that we're going to have two people joining us tonight that you have been working with, and to get their perspective of how things have developed, obviously the challenges that they've faced and why it is that they came to see you, and what the sessions were like, and how they've kind of responded to that. So that'll be really good. And we're going to chat to them a little bit later on the show. But yeah, let's just recap a little bit. I mean, a lot of people obviously tuned in tonight who might not have heard the first conversation, which was a good couple of months ago. So it's BodyTalk is the main modality that you're involved in. Obviously there are others as well, and we'll get to that. But yeah, just a little bit about yourself, your background, and then how you got involved in this path of healing.
Right, so I have been a body talker for the last 4 years, really full-time starting this year. Prior to that, I was actually in the TV industry for 11 years.
Yeah.
And it was through my own personal challenges of health that I came across body talk. And of course, my search for, deeper meaning of life and, what it's all about.
Yeah.
So I came across body talk through a person actually that was an astrologer that sent me for for a reading and got insight, and first started doing MindScape, which is a fabulous modality to help you to use the whole of your brain, especially the right brain. And once I've done MindScape, I then discovered BodyTalk very shortly after that and fell in love with the modality.
Okay.
And
That's wonderful. So tell us a bit about BodyTalk. People hear these things, and there's body stress release, and then there's an alignment, and there's I discovered somebody does something called body code. So there are various different modalities. What is BodyTalk all about? And if somebody comes to see you, what do you take them through? What's the process?
I always in my head refer to that song, "Let Me Hear Your Body Talk."
But so we're going to do a bit of gymming and stuff as well.
We can. So really what BodyTalk is about, it's me talking to your body, or your body actually talking to me.
Right.
But really what we're doing is we're connecting with the subconscious mind of the person that's coming for treatment or a healing.
Mm-hmm.
And so in essence what we do is we store a lot of our troubles and our pains and issues that we don't want to deal with in our subconscious mind.
Right.
So through body talk and through a muscle testing technique and me connecting with the person's subconscious mind, we bring up the information or the trouble from the subconscious mind to the conscious mind, and that way the person's body can heal itself and rebalance itself, and it gets restored through a tapping energy through the main nervous system, which is the brain. Right. And that's pretty much in a nutshell what Body Talks about.
Okay, cool. Well, we're going to go a little bit deeper than that. But so when you studied the modality, what was it that you had to have, and what did you do when you were studying it on that course? Yeah.
So Body Talk is an international course. which was discovered by Dr. John Baltham in 1996. If you want to be a BodyTalk practitioner, it's an intense 4-day course, full on. And then thereafter, you have to go and study and have to have 50 sessions that you would then work on as case studies.
Okay. So it's like a practical thing.
It's a practical thing. Yeah. So, and then after you've done your 50 practical sessions, you will then resit the course. And once you've done that, then you need to write an exam. It's very, very tough. You have to have 90% to pass your paper. And if you pass your paper, you are then able to do the practical on the same day. And once you pass that on a 90%, then you become a certified BodyTalk practitioner.
So it's quite intense.
It's intense. And then there's the International BodyTalk Association website, where you will find all your registered BodyTalk practitioners around the world on that site.
Okay. Yeah. Does one have, and I always think about this, is when you talk about, because it's healing modalities, right? Does one have to have a health background to get involved in something like this, or is it just people from all walks of life? And what is the kind of prerequisites? What kind of person should be doing something like this?
It's absolutely all people of all walks of life. We have people that comes from an allopathic background, like Dale Fox, for instance, come from Chris Barnard's days in hospital, and then Wilma Grobler also used to be one of the top sisters in this country, which she has now moved to Australia. But from all walks of life, there's anyone that's interested in healing. So basically, that you get to learn about anatomy and physiology on a certain level. You can go deep on it if you want to, but anything about the body you can learn about. It's about your environment. They're looking at energy balancing, like the chakras, a bit of body chemistry. Really, anyone that is interested in learning it can learn BodyTalk.
Okay. Yeah. So your practice is called, is it DNA Express?
That's correct,
right? Okay,
yes.
and there's the website there as well, where people can find details and stuff. And there are other modalities that are offered there as well. It's yourself and your partner that run the practice. Okay, so we're going to get into all that in a little bit, but thank you for giving us and setting the scene, and I think you've done really well and giving an understanding of what it is that you do. So we're also going to chat a bit about the fact that your love doc visited Enid some time ago, and I went through this BodyTalk technique that she offers, and it was really interesting. So I'll give you my perspective of it, and we'll also chat to some of the others who have been coming and consulting with Enid as well, and we'll chat to them in a little bit. But thanks to all of you for tuning in, and I'm happy to have you with us. We're here to help you, so if you have any questions, if there's any concerns that you have around your life at this point in time, and you're thinking that perhaps this might be an opportunity to find out from Enid if she's the person best equipped to help you move forward positively, you can ask your questions. I'll put them to Enid, and we'll see if we can help you with the challenges that you're facing. Fantasties musiek op die spel ook, en dit van Garth Taylor volgende, en dit vir jou op die Kaapse beste uit die 80s, 90s en nou die smal net op 4 FM. And we've got Enid Fox with us tonight, and she's a BodyTalk and a Reiki practitioner as well. So you do Reiki, and what are the other modalities that you're involved in, Enid?
So my main, when I do a treatment, I work mainly with BodyTalk and Reiki. And Reiki is a modality that you can't switch off, so when you're Reiki, and I'm a Reiki master as well, the energy doesn't get switched off. It runs in any way. Okay. So if you're coming for a Reiki session only, I will use those techniques, but if you're coming for BodyTalk, you get Reiki as well. So two for the price of one.
Two for the price of one. And then tell us a little about the Reiki. So what is it? What do people come to you for that Reiki will help with specifically, or what should they come for, for a BodyTalk session? Yeah.
Most people that come for Reiki know about Reiki.
Okay.
Reiki is a gentle healing, and it's really hands-on healing because we all have that. You get attuned to Reiki, and then you learn the different levels, and that's pretty much very elementary, but a very powerful modality.
Okay.
BodyTalk, on the other hand, goes more in depth into the person that's lying there. Because we access the information from the person to see what exactly is it that you're dealing with. Where are you stuck? Is it physically? Is it emotionally? Is it your environment? Sometimes you're not even aware anymore that there's issues that you had that's come back for you, or that it's affecting you in your life now, but you don't even know that it's because of something that happened years ago.
Okay, all right. So let's chat a little bit about it, and I'm quite happy to do that. If you can remember what happened with the love doc when he was laying there and going through the session with you. I mean, and you're right. I mean, there were things that you had asked me about from a couple of years ago. So I was laying there. You did the tapping and that sort of thing as well. And then there were a series of questions that you asked. So that comes off from me. So I'm giving you that information. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. So we have a protocol that that's worked out by Dr. John Valtheim,
Right.
which guide me through your body. I always refer to as my little road map of the person, and the person is the little car driving me to whatever destination to accumulate the information.
Okay.
So unfortunately, I can't remember all the detail about your session. When we do the session, another thing we learn is that you give the session, you provide the healing that the person need, and there's no attachment to the person's healing, because everybody's responsible for their own healing.
Okay.
Not that I don't care. I care very much about you and my clients. But for instance, the one thing I do recall is something that came up for you was dietary.
Yes, correct. Yeah,
so I'm putting you on the spot
no
here.
problem. I just played Freshly Grounds pot belly, and I've got one of those.
No, I think it looks good now. So sugar, for instance, came up for you, and often people don't realize, but that's too much sugar for me. They think, well, but your body was saying to me, actually, maybe that's too much sugar for me. So I needed to tell you, to hear it to the conscious mind. And then I have got dietary studies that I've done in the UK. So I've got the basic dietary
from
knowledge.
a nutrition perspective.
Correct.
Right.
Where I can then guide you with that as well.
Yes.
So, dietary can be incorporated into Body Talk. Again, it's very unique, the session for you. Whatever you need, we can look at, and whatever your body wants to do today will come up in a session.
So it's not a quick fix session, so that there'll obviously be follow-up sessions potentially. Yeah.
Yes and no, but Body Talk really is an ongoing modality for healing.
Okay.
So yes, perhaps a client needs to come and there's something desperate they're dealing with now, especially physical pain, and the session can help that shift once the person knows what the consciousness is about that issue.
Okay.
So yes, it can be, but at the same time, we all have stuff to work with, and we have layers, and so therefore, yes, ongoing and maintenance sessions is very, very good. I always refer to as the facial of the body, mind, and soul. You want to keep it good, and you get affected by stuff in the environment all the time. So you might be fine for a couple of weeks, you're good, you balance, you're happy, and one thing happened and someone triggers an old something for you, and
that comes to the
comes
fore
back,
again,
and you feel, my left ankle is sore, and it's about, can't make a decision to move forward, because each body part has a consciousness about it.
That I discussed with you on the day as well, and you showed me this chart and all the rest of it. So I want to get into that as well, because that's really interesting, and that's also come through with other guests that I've had on the show who do use other, as we mentioned at the beginning, other modalities, but they all speak to the same kind of sense, is that the body can heal itself, and the body will tell you when you're being affected by certain things, and it is often emotional stuff that manifests in different ways. You'd agree with that?
It's absolutely always emotional stuff. The one thing how we find what day we have is about what emotions were you experiencing. So everything has an emotional consciousness to it. So I think one thing that's very important for the listeners to also remember, that when you come to me for a session, I get your body to heal itself, and I leave you with advice. Because in my sessions, I do a bit of chatting and counseling as well.
Correct.
But it's your responsibility to work with what the practitioner, whoever is doing what healing for you to work with it. So there's no
100%.
point you coming for Body Talk and say, tap me out, and now I feel better.
Yeah.
And then you go straight back to the cookie jar and
the cool
everything
drinks
else
and stuff.
coming again. It's like, I'll just go for Body Talk.
Yes.
That won't help.
Yeah, good stuff. We thank you for that. And she's looking at me saying like, maybe we must stop with the cool drinks. Anyway, we'll leave that for now, but we're going to continue a conversation with Enid. There's some wonderful questions that have come through. We're going to get to that, and then we're also going to be looking at some of the other aspects of Body Talk and how that can help you move forward on your journey. But thank you for the questions. You can keep them coming through as well, and we'll try to get through as many as we can. We haven't forgotten about the fact that we're going to get some of the other guests online as well, and those people who have been helped and treated through the Body Talk sessions with Enid, and we're going to be chatting to them in a bit too. Ons gaan voort met die Kaapse beste uit die 80s 90s en nou dis smal net op 4 FM. And continue the conversation with our guest in the studio. It's Enid Fox, and they've been a wonderful set of questions that have come through. Thank you so much for sharing that. Let's get into this one now. This one from Bryony, Enid. So it's a relationship issue. She says she met a lovely man, 3 times divorced online. They met, dated for about 6 months, and broke up 3 times in that 6 months. He'd kind of push her away every time they got too close. The last time she said, I walked away, and then tried to get back together again, try to find a way that they could save the relationship, have a long-term commitment. But he said he wanted to just be on his own, more of a spiritual life that he wanted to lead. And the last time it told her to think of him as dead, and maybe that will help her kind of just cut ties completely. And it's left her kind of really broken, and she doesn't know how to get over this, and she needs some help. So how does Body Talk help from this perspective?
So, Bryony, we're all so beautifully complex. It's actually a compliment because we're all so individual and so complex. But that is what's so beautiful about Body Talk. So we'll look at all the individual essences of you. What I would think the best thing for you would be in Body Talk is just to first of all balance you, help you to balance you emotionally and understand whatever it is you're experiencing in this relationship. Where is it coming from? Maybe it's certain behaviors that you're feeling, or what is this person triggering for you emotionally? And if we can go deeper in that, find out what that is, bring it to the surface and balance it out for you, you'll be able to deal with the situation in a far healthier and stronger manner, and then make a much clearer decision where you want to move on to in your life. Either is this something that you're going to keep pursuing, or would you then shift and realize there's somewhere else I want to go? So it's just helping to balance you emotionally.
That's really interesting because I've often thought about this, and also through experience with other practitioners as well with other modalities, is that she speaks about the other person and this is the challenge she's facing, but often it brings out a particular situation will bring out something within yourself that you are struggling to deal with and you don't even know it. And then your response is based on that issue that you're dealing with. It's not actually even about the other person, but it's the situation that brings it out. Am I correct?
Absolutely. So we're going a little bit deeper here, and I actually love this question. So basically, every little single experience that you're getting that's pushing your buttons, you need to thank.
Yeah.
Because it's giving you the opportunity to learn something about yourself. How can I respond to this? Why is this coming up for me? And again, we can look at it in Body Talk session and say, what is this about? Why is it coming up for me? And what can I learn from this? Because it's anything you go in life. If you change the way you feel or see a situation, the situation might not change.
Yes.
But you can change in how
Yes.
you experience the situation, or not, or walk away from it.
True.
So, yes, absolutely.
Wonderful stuff. Thanks. We've got more questions that have come through as well. Quite deep too, so we're going to get to those. And hopefully we'll have enough time to get through some of the questions that are coming through. I definitely want to get hold of the others that are going to join us on air as well. And looking forward to those conversations too. And fantastic. Likies om na te luister work, so we're not forgetting about the music at all. Some great songs on the way. Let's get straight into another question then. We're chatting to Enid Fox, Body Talk and Reiki practitioner. She's here to help you with any challenges you might be facing. So next one is a really interesting one as well. So it's from Pixie Faye, who says, my wife is really bad with her weight at the moment. She's always tired. She gets every bug that's doing the round. She takes immune boosters, but nothing seems to help. Anything that you can suggest?
So firstly, I want to ask, is it Pixie?
It's Pixie, yeah.
Pixie.
Okay.
Your wife needs to want to do all of these things. So if you're speaking on her behalf, that's a different story. But if she asks you to ask, then that's also a different story.
Yeah.
But the thing about Body Talk is to allowing each individual to take responsibility for their own journey, which is the body, mind, and soul. Okay.
Right.
So back to the food then. It's one of my passions, the whole thing about weight. I personally absolutely love food, and I love eating good, healthy food.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something underneath a weight thing. There is an emotional thing. And so often people would go on a wonderful workout and they eat very well and they lose weight. And for a couple of months, they're good. They can maintain it. And then suddenly the old things creep back in.
Yes.
Because we haven't gone deep enough to see why. What's the essence?
Yes.
You know, sugar, often eating a lot of sugar is because I don't taste enough sweetness in life. So, and overeating, it's an emotional eating, so is it comfort eating? So we need to go underneath those layers, bring that to the surface, and then we can look at, okay, so while we're doing the Body Talk, lifting the layers, let me suggest you try this and this food,
right,
and then work together with the two of them. So that worked far better.
Okay, great stuff. There you have it, Pixie. I'm going to definitely give Enid's details at the end of the show, and you can certainly contact her privately. There's another question that's just come through, and I haven't had a chance to share that with you yet, but I'll ask it anyway. The two questions. So the question is rather, my first boyfriend contacted me after 19 years. We were best friends. What are the chances for us? We're both from the 60s, she says, and this is Marion who wants to know what should she do around this particular situation. And again, this is now an old relationship that's come to pass again, and here's another opportunity. Is this again kind of linked to things that have happened before, and is this an emotional thing?
Nothing happens by chance,
right?
First of all. So I think the best thing for me in a relationship in this instance, so it's not really Body Talk, it's just my own advice, is
Sure.
that good, clear communication.
Yes.
Often we assume that's what the person thinks. So sit down and talk to each other. How do you feel? How do I feel? What we want to do? How are we going to make it work? Just clear clear communication, and you'll actually make your decision from there. And if something feels right, then it is right. If it doesn't feel right, then it's not right.
Move on, But again, so I want to just bring in the body talk aspect here. Here's a couple who have got together again after 19 years. So they've been apart for that time. Again, there must have been things that have happened in his or her life in that time, and that could potentially also bring itself to bear on the relationship.
Yes, it can, but we all change. So I dare say the person, I know who I have been even starting Body Talk and even 15 years ago is completely different. So we all grow. So if people manage to grow alongside and get back to each other and manage to shift their relationship issues, then that might work. But then try it, have a look at it, and then look for advice. Come for maybe counseling sessions and Body Talk sessions and work with it, but be willing to address if you really want this love.
Wonderful. Thanks for that. We're going to be getting our guests online now in about a minute or so. Ons gaan voort met 'n lekker likkie van Red Angel en dit vir jou op die Kaapse beste die 80s 90s en nou dis smal net op 4 FM. We're chatting tonight to Enid Fox. She's a Body Talk and Reiki practitioner amongst other things, and she's providing some wonderful advice on how to help you move forward positively on your life's journey. We're going to chat to someone who has been consulting with Enid, and that is Kunrad. Goeienaand Kunrad, hoe gaan dinge saam met jou vanaand?
Goeienaand, nee, dat gaan goed, dankie.
Fantasties, lekker. Ja, Enid is ook saam met my hier so in die atelier. Nou sê vir my, baie dankie eers dat jy aangesluit is saam met ons hier so by Smal net op 4 FM, en jy gaan so lekker 'n bietjie praat oor die tyd dat jy saam met Enid gespandeer het. Wat is die rede dat jy vir Enid gaan sien het?
Ek het lank terug gehoor van die dierekommunikasie wat sy kan doen. En vroeër die jaar moes ons my hond laat uitsit het, en ek het net uit nuuskierigheid wil ek net hoor of my hond iets wou sê en om te help met die rouproses en enige boodskappe van haar af en hoe om het hanteer en so.
Okay. En toe jy vir haar gesien het, wat was die proses wat jy deurgegaan het en hoe het jy dit saam met haar gedeel?
Sy het eers vir my paar boodskappe van die hond gegee en toe het ek verder ook vir Body Talk sessies gegaan om te help met byvoorbeeld soos eksamenstress en algemene stres, want ek is 'n student nou, so daai goeders, en dit het ook baie gehelp, want dit is nie net, soos sy ook vroeër gesê het, jy dink dit is ook net stres wat veel pla, maar persoonlike kwessies kom ook op terwyl jy besig is, en dit kan ook aangespreek word om dan op die boonste vlak so stres met veel te help.
Okay. Hoe gou het die sessies vir jou gehelp?
Dit help redelik gou. Ek was seker so maand, seker so 2 maande voor my eksamen was ek daar gewees, en toe het ons so ligweg geraak in eksamen, maar ons ook oor persoonlike kwessies gepraat en so, en maar dit is maar iets wat jy moet opvolg en weer moet doen om die volle effek te kry. Soos sy vra vir jou liggaam wanneer hy weer 'n sessie wil hê. En my net toe aangedui, dan sê sy per so min of meer hoeveel weke, my net toe aangedui net voor eksamen begin het, en ek het toe gegaan en ons het toe hele ding gedoen vir die eksamen en hoe om soos die stres te hanteer en dat my brein vars is met elke vraestel. So dat het ook baie gehelp, ek moet sê, in die eksamen.
So daar was spesifieke dinge wat opgekom het en dit het jou deur die proses gehelp?
Ja, definitief. En dan ook, ek het ook vir die MindScape kursus gegaan, wat ek ook dan saam met Body Talk gebruik het. So terwyl ek daar lê by haar in die sessies, kan ek in my MindScape ingaan en daar ook dinge uitsorteer. Of byvoorbeeld, as ek leer, dan gaan ek in MindScape en leer in MindScape. Mens dink gewoonlik, jy is nou so gestres jy moet al die werk klaar kry, en jy kan nie net 10 of 15 minute afstaan nie, maar dan jy werk soveel beter as jy net 10, 15 minute net asem gehaal het in MindScape, en dan alles gaan net baie beter, en dan jy word ook baie rustiger, byvoorbeeld as jy dit voor die toets doen, of in die toetslokaal of so.
Fantasties, so dit het definitief vir jou gehelp met die SWOT ook?
Ja, definitief het baie makliker gemaak, en dan ook as jy dit baie oefen, dan kan mens redelik inligting kry oor die eksamen en so.
Okay, dis fantasties. Baie dankie vir die tyd wat jy saam met ons gedeel op die lig, en alles van die best met jou studies daar in die SWAT. Okay.
That's reg, baie dankie.
Okay, bye-bye. Kunrad with us on Small 90.4 FM tonight, chatting a little bit and giving a little bit of insight. He's been going to the Body Talk and he's done the MindScape as well, which is great. And both those modalities have helped him move forward positively with his studies as well, which is absolutely fantastic. So obviously doing some great work there, Enid, with one of her clients there, that is Kunrad, who came with us online. We're going to try and get hold of one of the other people that she's been consulting with and dealing with, and let's see if we can get some information from her as well. As well, Shane, I see you there as well. Apologies for not reading out any of the smiles in this last hour, but the smiles are left for the 9 to 10 hours, so please remember that when you do send through your dedications to your loved ones. We send out the smiles between 9 and 10, and the 10 to 11 slot is reserved for our guest and the conversation that we have with them, obviously also designed to try and help you move forward positively on your life's journey. So online now we are joined by Elmarie. Good evening, Elmarie. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Thanks for joining us on air. Appreciate you staying up to chat to us a little bit. Enid's in the studio with us as well. And I believe you've also had some sessions with her. Tell us, what was the reason that you went to see her?
Well, the biggest reason why I went to see her is because I actually went through a really bad divorce. And I have a daughter that's still quite young. She's not even 6 yet. And so she experienced the divorce quite badly. And through hearing about Body Talk and these kind of things, I decided, well, let's see what it's about. Enid had told me about it before, and I thought, well, I've got nothing to lose. It can only do good. And wow, it was mind-blowing.
Sorry, for the sessions that you went, you said you had a young daughter as well. Did both of you go for the session, or was it just yourself?
No, we actually both went for we both went for the first one. Enid explained to me that I would just need to be in the room with her. She didn't need to really talk to my daughter as much, but that she would kind of use me as a surrogate to connect with my daughter.
All right.
Which worked really well. And she really told me things about emotions that my daughter was experiencing, because when they're so young, they can't really voice, what they're feeling. And so she picked up a lot of things in her body. She also started suffering from eczema and started biting the nails and those kind of things when the divorce was, at its optimum, or really bad. And so Enid gave some wonderful advice. Because she was picking up why these things were happening.
Right.
Because you always, as a mother or as a parent, you always question, why is my daughter doing this all of a sudden? Is it because of stress, or is it just a bad habit that's formed?
Change of behavior that you pick up on.
Yeah, and it was incredible. She did a distance session once because I was completely hooked from there.
Yes.
And I could really see the change in my daughter as well. She was calmer after each session, and so the one day she did a distance session, and because Enid's quite in tune with nutrition, she said to me, well, I don't know if you've been giving her a few sweeties that are red or blue, but I can tell, her body's rejecting it.
Okay.
And I literally, I couldn't believe it, because and I sent her a voice message back, and I said to her, I can't believe you just said that, because every time we've given her one of those, she says to me, I don't want it. It was incredible. So Body Talk is so real, and it's helped her tremendously, and for myself as well. But specifically for tonight, focusing on my daughter.
Yes.
It's a wonderful thing, and I would really, I often recommend friends and clients to, if they're struggling with something, go for Body Talk, because it just opens up other things that other people can't always explain to you.
Correct.
So, and that you sometimes don't even know about yourself.
It gets to the underlying issues that will help you move forward positively. Thanks so much for being with us, Elmarie. Thanks for taking the time, and I really wish you and your daughter both everything of the best. Go well.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Go well. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.
That's wonderful. That's one of the questions I was going to ask you, Enid, was, youngsters coming to see you. I mean, you do have, obviously she brought her daughter with her, but you do deal with kids specifically?
Yes, absolutely. Body Talks for anyone. I love working with children. I've got a very soft spot for them, and you can work with babies. Mom comes as a surrogate, and we use we use mom as the physical vehicle to connect to the babies, because it's all quantum physics energy that we're really working with. So any living thing, body talk you can do on, and she spoke of distance sessions, so that's called remote work. You know, sometimes people can't get to you, and then you just do the work remotely, send through the information, and it's as effective.
As we had Kunrad earlier on, and we were talking about the animals as well. So there's that aspect of it too.
Unfortunately, we don't have time for that. Maybe next time we can chat about animal communication, and then doing the body talk session on the animal that's going through physically and emotionally what they're going through. I've just had a lady whose cat sadly passed away, and just helping her through the emotions, but the other animals in the home mourning for the animal that's passed away as well. So through MindScape and Body Talk, we help the people shift through that.
Wonderful stuff. That's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you, Enid, for being with us. The best way to get hold of you is through the website.
Yes, www.dnaexpress.co.za.
And obviously there's also information on the different modalities, so they can read
the
up
courses,
on it.
The course dates, the practice, everything about what we do.
Okay, great stuff. Thank you, Enid. Wonderful to have you back.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Okay.
There you have it, Enid Fox from DNA Express, and you can get those details on the website, and I will post those details on the Smile 90.4 FM Facebook page as well. Thanks to all the Smiley friends for chatting away. Those of you who stayed right through till the end, and for the questions that were posed as well. Some really good, pertinent questions that we were able to deal with and help with some advice tonight, courtesy of Enid Fox from DNA Express.